Welcome to Field of View with Nerd Street Gamers, your weekly dose of gaming news. I'm DarfMike, and we here at FOV appreciate the 35th anniversary of the Legend of Zelda franchise, so to celebrate, we've come to Hyrule to break down the news. Nintendo hosted its first Nintendo Direct video conference in over a year, and what they showed was frankly quite disappointing. The Direct opened with a trailer that seemed to be implying a new Xenoblade Chronicles game was on the way, only for it to turn out to be the next fighter joining Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Pyra/Mithra, a 2-in-1 fighter, which is an exciting concept a la a Zelda Sheik, but she's a sword fighter, because apparently that's a playstyle that's been underrepresented in the game so far. We then saw a bunch of smaller titles being revealed and some updates to existing games, all to set up the biggest bait in video game history. AJ Aonuma came on screen on the 35th anniversary of the Legend of Zelda franchise to certainly unveil some information about Breath of the Wild 2 or the next installment in the Zelda franchise, but no, nothing new. Instead, we got a remaster of Skywardsword, a game that was controversial at the time of release for having finicky motion controls and changing things up in the Zelda canon. Really? This is what we get? No new Zelda property? No news whatsoever about Breath of the Wild 2? This is what you give us? At least there was a new game in a tentpole Nintendo franchise. It was just Splatoon 3, which was teased with an edgy, atmospheric trailer that seemed to imply their artistic direction was headed somewhere between Mad Max and Borderlands. And frankly, that's the game I want to play, not the shooter that we're going to wind up getting. I want to play an open world 3D looter shooter where we explore the apocalyptic events that led to this world where children had been mutated into squid creatures. I'd play that game. Nintendo wasn't the only publisher getting in on the video conference action, as Blizzard had their BlizzCon event and unveiled a lot of information about their properties. But the biggest announcement concerned a 20-year-old game. It was about Diablo 2. Specifically, we're getting a remaster. It's going to be a new version of the beloved game. It's largely going to deal with cosmetic improvement, leaving the base game relatively untouched outside of a few quality of life improvements, and it should be a fitting tribute to a beloved entry in that franchise. It all sounds so good until you remember Warcraft 3 Reforged and how they promised the exact same things about that game before royally screwing the pooch, and so much so that the game is still in a rough state a year on from release. So here's our plea, Blizzard. Please, don't screw this one up. That wasn't the only nostalgia-based announcement, as we are getting an expansion to WoW Classic. It's the Burning Crusade back once more, one of the best WoW expansions of all time, now available to be played, as apparently Blizzard's plan for WoW Classic is to just re-release all the franchises before, I guess, maybe hitting the reboot button and going back to square one. Starting to feel like a comic book property. There was also an announcement for a modern game, or rather a non-announcement, as we still don't know the release date for Overwatch 2, but now we know so much more about everything else to do with the game. There's a new map set in New York, there's a new hero named Sojourn, there's new costumes for the characters, new backstory, new PvE game modes. We've unveiled so much information about all of those. We still don't know when we're gonna get to play the game though. Nearly 2 years on that we've had Overwatch 2 announced, there is no window for when the game is going to release, so it's just going to be a big old game of wait and see. That's it for this week on Field of View with Nerd Street Gamers, your weekly dose of gaming news. Now, the announcements this week may not have exactly met your expectations, but at least out here in the field, there's nothing to catch you off guard.